What is going on, everyone? Welcome to Coexisting with Rob and Maggie. It is Friday, June 21st, and we are glad you are here, and we got a lot to talk about. But as we start every show, Maggie, how you doing?
Rob,
Maggie?
when do jokes become dad jokes?
When they're born?
When they become a parent?
Yeah, well played.
I'm sorry. I just read that joke today, and I'm like, I'm gonna tell it to Rob today.
Good job. I like it.
I'm doing good. It's 1,000 degrees here. I hate it. Last night I told you just before going to work today, you were just going to bed, and I was like,
Hmm.
I slept an hour. I slept for
Yeah,
an hour because it is 50 degrees here and I still have no AC because life sucks and this year sucks. But thank God for wrestling, right? And
yeah,
you had a flood where
yeah.
you're
It's flooding in
staying.
my area. Yep.
Yeah. I'm glad that you have internet because you didn't yesterday.
Yeah, not for most of the day.
So you're
But
trying to hang on. Have you
yep.
seen like a bunch of boats with different kinds of animals in it?
No, I haven't yet.
Okay, damn it.
Yeah, no, thank God. Uh, but
I'm happy that you're doing good. I hope that none of the flood gets any more serious because those photos you sent me and I was like, what the f is that?
yeah, it's kind of crazy out there.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, but nothing. I'm hoping all will be well, obviously. So I have faith in
Joe
the city that they're
Hendry.
doing what they can. Yeah, and I have faith in Joe Henry because I believe in Joe Henry.
Yeah.
And we will talk about Joe Henry today.
Yes, we
But
will.
we do have a Snapchat. We have a super chat already from
Yes,
Mr.
yes, yes, we do. Like, let's read super chat and I'm gonna do my thing.
Ryan Sullivan says his name and he appears. I believe in Rob Wilkins. Well, I appreciate that because I believe in you too, Ryan. I got to fill in for Ryan this past week on the Mark Order podcast with
You did.
Joe on the Mark Order podcast as Miss Kate Fabe was filling in for Sean Ross Sapp over on our channel. So it was basically a trade. So I think Mark Order podcast got a really good deal out of this. um, but yeah, it was fun, and I'll be doing it again next week too. So
I'm so happy that you do.
yeah,
That being said, thank you for the super chat, Ryan. Guys, hi. Thank you for joining our show. We have a buttload of stuff to talk about today. But as we start every show, please leave a like on the video. It helps us out immensely. If you want to support us with your wallets, you can open them up via a super chat. It is the bottom of the YouTube live chat, the little dollar sign. If you're watching on a non YouTube platform, you can set a humper chat at humperchats.com. It makes us keep a little bit more of the money. Also, subscribe to Fightful Overbook, subscribe to youtube.com/Fightful, and more importantly, subscribe to Fightful Select. You will get a buttload of scoops there, contract news. I swear to God, we are living in a contract year, and it is so, so exciting.
yeah, it is.
Yes, yes.
And I mean, there's all kinds of things going on too, and um, with Fightful Select, we had reports today. Like Sean talked to people within Warner Brothers about the ratings. I mean, I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I know some people's freaking out. So it is. I we don't talk about ratings on here because it doesn't really. We don't think it affects us or wrestling fans really in
Yes,
general. But
I I just they don't affect me because I'm not the demo for that. I mean, no, demo isn't the right word. I don't think I'm the subject matter of the demos because I don't matter. I don't watch on TNT. I don't watch anywhere. It's it's not, I'm not in those ratings. Like, I don't figure in them. And I suppose that the ratings that matter mostly are the ones that are on national television. Also,
Yeah,
I have no clue how American ratings work. And
yeah.
that's, I if Rob wants to talk about ratings, he can do so. Or like, if you like,
Nope.
I you don't want to, but like, if you would, I would listen, because I will then have some knowledge about ratings, but I still have no clue what's it all about. Again, I'm from Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Things,
Do they even have ratings in Bulgaria?
yeah, way to go. Like, you were
Yeah.
once on the Mark Order podcast, and then you filled in.
Yeah. I
Okay.
feel.
Yeah.
I,
Okay.
sorry, just too soon. But yeah, I mean, with Fightful Select, there's all kinds of things going on right now. You had, like I said, Sean talked, uh, did us a little background on that stuff with the ratings. He's uh, trying to confirm Gigi Dolan's knee injury that Wrestling Observer says is a torn ACL that'll keep her out for the rest of the year, which is unfortunate.
Sucks, by the
Um,
way.
he's checking in on Darby Allin's status following Double or Nothing. All kinds of things going on, and then you have Corey Brennan, who breaks stuff every day, and then you have the Q&A that Sean does. So all kinds of things going on with Fightful Select. So just want you to know about that, which you do, but we're still going to tell you because that's what we do, and that's, well, shit, that's what we do.
Crap.
But Maggie, let's go ahead and just start. We'll just start quick about last week's Clash at the Sandcastle.
Oh,
Overall, what would
yes.
you give the show?
I
On a,
enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the show. Like, I know that people were kind of mad at the end. I was one of them. Like, I let time pass, and I'm gonna wait and see what the hell happens from there on.
yeah,
Of course, this is something I said to you and to SP3 before our show last week, while I was doing their predictions on the True Heel Heat channel. I'm biased towards European pay-per-views because it just means that I'm able to watch them live. And this is always something that will make me incredibly happy, because Europe-friendly pay-per-views are the best. I can watch them live, and live experience is on a different level. And I hope that this is something that, the people on North America, and South, and in America as a whole, North or South, can agree upon, because more or less the only time that you guys suffer from this is during Wrestle Kingdom. And come to think of it, you know, the hardcore wrestling fans will stay up late over at your side of the world and watch Wrestle Kingdom, but the other ones will just wake up and watch it on replay.
yeah,
Yeah, which is the thing, we who live in the rest, in the rest of the world do about, American pay-per-views. Um, and I've come to realize that watching wrestling live as I used to during the pandemic, because I wasn't working and I wasn't doing anything, special whatsoever. So I stayed up and watched, I watched Dynamite live. I watched pay-per-views live. It was something special, and interacting with people online while the thing is happening is kind of special. Uh, and watching the show live as it happens it's also kind of special. That being said, uh, really quickly, Cody versus AJ, I was maybe kind of not so right, but kind of right at the same time.
I wasn't so
If
right, but I was kind of right.
Yeah, it wasn't right, but I was kind of right, because what I said was AJ Styles goes for Styles Clash on Mama Rhodes, and Cody says I quit, and AJ Styles does it anyway. So what happens is Cody Rhodes goes for a stairs shot at AJ, and AJ is like, "Oh no, dude, I quit," and he hit him anyway. So I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, that's kind of right." It was
Yeah.
totally the other way, but I was kind of right, so I'm just gonna count that. I appreciated the plants being, the seeds being planted. Randy Orton glimpses at the title. That's on Cody Rose's face,
Yep.
on Cody's shoulder. I appreciated that.
I liked it.
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn became women's tag team champions. I cried a bit. Uh, the two of them deserve those titles so much. I did not see that coming whatsoever. I'm
Yeah.
glad that it did because, like, it's nice to see local people winning on the show. And
Yeah,
I
and
was
it
like,
was a
yeah,
heavy.
okay, totally Drew isn't winning.
Yeah, and I mean, it was a heavy weekend too for Alba Fire too,
It
with
was.
what
It was.
happened with her mother. Her mother, unfortunately, was killed in a. I believe she was a pedestrian. Was that right?
It
She
was a
got hit by
car
a vehicle,
accident,
I
right?
believe. So that was very unfortunate. So um, I can't imagine having to wrestle and like be that far away. I mean, even though that was home, I mean, it just it, very unfortunate, and our heart goes out to her. And but it was good to see her win the title, and I know that had a major impact on her, and it was good to see. So, but overall, I thought it was
The
a solid
moment,
show.
yes, the moment they won the titles and they gave them the bouquets, and when she crumbled down next to the barricade, that's the moment I lost it, because I knew, we all knew that this was something special for her, and we all wish her mother was there. It's yeah. Sammy versus Gable, it was a solid match. Uh, Chad Gable is just such a flawless wrestler. Uh, if anyone keeps forgetting how amazing Gable is, they just shouldn't.
Yeah, no, he's great, just outstanding, and that whole thing was good. And I was really surprised they went that route. I mean, I wasn't really sure which way they'd go, and now it's even more up in the air with Chad Gable being dead, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. um, so we'll get into
Um,
that here shortly, but that was
yes,
it was one of those things where after the show ended, I saw somebody post a meme where it was like, "Hey, you resigned, thanks. Now you're done." Like you don't win, like Drew McIntyre, Chad Gable, stuff like that. So
yeah.
it was done in comedy, like
Oh,
for
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Yeah. Before we mention Drew and Priest, Bailey versus Piper. So far, I think that WWE are getting all their money's worth when it comes to Chelsea Green.
Oh
That
yeah,
woman is a national treasure. Protect her at all costs, because the referee kicked her out mid-match, Bailey versus Piper. And then a luchadora comes out and is on the apron, and who is that masked woman?
yeah. It was
So great. Give her, I don't care. Give her all the championships. Give her the NXT North American Women's Championship. I don't care. Give her everything. I just She should have been Queen of the Ring. Should have been Queen of the Ring.
yeah. No, I mean, I would agree with that. Like, compared to Naya, I would think that would be I would have been okay with Chelsea Green being the Queen of the Ring. I think I would have been better, but I also understand why they went with Nia too. So I would have preferred Chelsea, but I think that's just neither here or there when it comes to that booking for now. So, but overall, and what did you think about the ending of, or what do you think of Priest versus McIntyre, and then what did you think about the ending of that match? Oh, we lost your audio.
I'm sorry, that's because I was muted. Yeah. Yeah, so the match was good. It was solid back and forth. Um Priest getting his foot caught up in the ropes. Like I'm glad that he's okay. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, so Drew McIntyre delivered a Claymore to Damian Priest. Because the ref was down, there was no one to count the pin. And so a different referee comes out and he starts counting and then he just stops. And I was like, that was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Amazing camera work. Kevin Dunn would never.
No.
He would absolutely never. That was amazing. It was executed perfectly, flawlessly. I hated it. And I was really pissed and angry and mad and everything else. That meant that it was working. Afterwards, during Raw, Drew McIntyre came out and the whole crowd was chanting for CM Punk. And the only thing that Drew McIntyre said, I'm done, screw this company. I can't do this anymore. I quit. And then he put down the microphone and he just left.
Yeah.
I just have one thing to say here. I just really, really hope that his resigning wasn't so publicly done. You know, with the rock and the sword and everything. I just really, really wish that it wasn't so public. Because this would have been even more great if we had no idea if he resigned or not. And the thing I believe that's gonna happen next is SmackDown is live in Chicago tonight.
Yep.
Punk said on the press conference, which I still haven't watched, by the way. Punk said on the press conference that he's gonna skip Raw, probably because he knew a bunch of stuff. You know, I'm just gonna skip the show I'm on and go to a show that I'm not on. What did you know, Punk? Okay, are you, like, who's your scoopster? You know, so he's gonna be on SmackDown tonight, and the most fair thing to happen would be Drew McIntyre murdering Punk, like just going through the guy. Like, you screwed me over. It's in Scotland. I'm gonna murder you in your hometown. I feel like that's, evening the odds. Which is stupid because I kind of wished more time had passed after Drew McIntyre said that he quit. Also, there's one minor thing that it's really, really nitpicking. Okay, so Drew McIntyre's whole thing is that he's incredibly online, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how come he had no idea that Punk was there?
Yeah.
Like, all of us knew that Punk was there. All of the fans, even the fans of Coexisting, knew that he was there.
Okay, I would have to look into this a little bit, but I swear I thought he knew that he was there.
Yeah, so why wasn't he more prepared?
Well, now that's a good point. I get that, but yeah. But part of me, yeah, either way. But yeah, either way, I know I agree.
That, like, those are all really, really small stuff. Otherwise, I don't know if me being pissed off is because the booking sucks or because the booking is working. And I kind of I'm giving it, a loose leash. I want to see what happens, and I want to see how they build the story up. Because if Punk and Drew have a match right now, it's gonna make all the sense in the world.
Yeah. Ace makes a good point. SmackDown is the home of cinema, and Raw is the house of horrors.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
But
cinema.
Yeah, we know that CM Punk is in Chicago for sure because he was at the Wieners Circle last night. Him and the Good Brothers. They were having hot dogs in Chicago. So at Wieners
Punk and the Good
Circle.
Brothers. Okay.
Yeah.
Still.
So getting the band back together, I guess. Huh?
Yeah, sure.
Well, part of the band.
Of course.
Need Serena Deeb back. I always said one thing that AEW should have done.
Combined the two. They should have.
No, not necessarily with straight. I just wanted one segment where CM Punk is like backstage, and yet this was like one of the weeks when Gallo was on AEW, where he's talking to Serena Deeb, and Punk is just like, "Where the hell have you two been?" Like just something like that.
Yeah,
that's
like
all I wanted.
I mean, he already referenced it on AEW commentary. He was like commenting on the match that she was doing. He was like, all I can say about Serena Deeb is she has a wonderful set of hair. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, from the comedy aspect, I think that would have been perfect. Just like
that would have been absolutely perfect. I mean, like, I enjoy immensely all those little nods at, at wrestling history that, doesn't necessarily, if you don't know what the history was, it's done so subtle that you don't need to know it. So it's really good. I think that was kind of a missed opportunity right there. It was. What did you think of that segment?
Well,
the ending segment. The ending segment.
I was disappointed for Drew, but I also, from a business standpoint, I understood it, because you have to look at it this way. I look at it this way: CM Punk versus Drew doesn't need the title, especially if Gunther is going to be wrestling for it at SummerSlam, and I expect him to win whoever he faces. So
he faces Germany.
Oh, I thought it was at SummerSlam.
Yeah, but who do you think Gunther faces at Germany?
Oh,
Bash at Berlin.
I don't know. I really don't have an idea right now. Part of me would love just for Dragunov versus Gunther in Germany would be great, but
I'm not ready.
I know you're not ready, but I mean that's just something I would like to see. But I really don't know, but I know like the title just doesn't need to be on. If they're gonna lose it that quick, I would prefer just let Priest hold on to it. You know what I mean? So
yes.
But overall, I thought the pay-per-view was good. I would have preferred if McIntyre got the moment, but again, I get the booking. I really do. I understand it. Because Gunther is going to wrestle either Damian Priest, or he's likely going to wrestle Damian Priest at SummerSlam, and he's going to get that. He's going to win that title there.
Well, of course, yes, but like it all depends on the Money in the Bank, because it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends on how they book the Money in the Bank briefcase, because like they kind of had a long run with Damian Priest. But the thing is that Damian Priest won that briefcase last year, and I'm absolutely sure that they had no idea how to book that, and they just put the briefcase on him just for the sake of giving Drew something, which I'm not going to be mad about.
I think that was the case, and sometimes that's the way it goes with that booking. Like you have an idea of what you want to do, but you just don't go that route until you have something set in stone. Because I doubt they had that plan that far out for WrestleMania, because at that time they had no idea that CM Punk was going to be in the company.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, sure. But like I'm just incredibly disappointed, because they had a Money in the Bank qualifier on this week's Raw. It was between Finn Balor, Rey Mysterio, and Jey Uso. And Jey Uso pinned Finn Balor, and I was like, I was rooting for Finn Balor to win that briefcase, because it has all such an incredible story.
It would have added to that story.
And now all I'm hoping for is the last chance qualifier between all the people that which I hate those, by the way.
I do too.
because let's give the losers a second chance. And not only that, one of the people in that
Sorry about that.
match with it's no biggie. One of the people in that last chance qualifier winning the actual briefcase is like, no, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it is possible if you look at it in kayfabe, because like you have no idea, no clue what's going to happen. But like hyping up the rest of the people is a totally different thing. But like I'm going to see where it goes. Right now, because Jey Uso won that match, I'm kind of leaning towards Jey Uso, and I'm sure that Yeet in the Bank is something that they're gonna go with. Like, but I'm still hoping for Tiffany Stratton on the women's side. Just saying.
Yeah. No, I would agree with both those. I think that's solid. So let's go ahead and talk about Raw. We had a interesting show.
Amazing Raw.
We had a Raw started with a big segment that a lot of people did not see coming. Well, most people did not see coming, was the return of Seth freaking Rollins. What did you think of that? What was your thought? Like when you got up Tuesday morning, Maggie time in Bulgaria, and you get your coffee, I'm sure you have your, I don't know, you're just doing your normal Maggie thing, sitting on your couch, got the TV on, start Raw.
I just, I turn on the television and I start watching Raw, and I'm just, like I'm gonna share something that is kind of, borderline personal. When I'm starting, when I push the button on my espresso machine, when it starts, actually dripping coffee, I start doing push-ups. And I turn off the espresso machine after 20 push-ups. So I'm going to paint you a picture. So I turn on the espresso machine, turn on Raw, start doing push-ups, and then I hear burn it down. I'm like, fucking what? And I just forget all about the push-ups. I forget all about the espresso. I go back to the kitchen just in time to turn off the espresso machine, because like I have a buttload of coffee now. And then I had to make another one because that was not drinkable whatsoever. And then I sat down and watched the entire, segment with Seth. I was so over the moon about that, because people who are familiar with our show know that I'm a huge sucker for Seth Rollins. I'm so happy that he's back. And right out of the gate, he mentions, getting his title back. And I'm like, okay, I can see that. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Damian Priest came out. Priest says that he was happy because Seth looked healthy, and that he was hoping that he would cash in on him because that's what he wanted. Seth returned the favor and said that Priest and Seth and himself had a lot in common, but eventually Seth grew a pair. That's exactly what he said. I love that. So eventually it's going to be Seth Rollins versus Damian Priest at Money in the Bank, which means that Seth Rollins will not be a part of the Money in the Bank match itself, because this was something that he was referencing. He said, maybe I go for the Money in the Bank briefcase again. And I'm like, oh, yes. But like probably not going for past, accolades. Seth Rollins with a Money in the Bank briefcase will always make me smile, because it's gonna make me remember of that time. But yeah, I feel like that's enough. What do you think? All the emotions for you, or no?
I was just really happy to see him back. Anytime a wrestler is back from an injury is good, obviously. And Seth Rollins brings a lot to the table on Raw, and they needed him. I mean, you always want Seth Rollins on your show, but I think they really needed him, and I'm very curious to see where it goes after Money in the Bank. But we do have a super chat here from Eric Freed. He says, "Hi, curious if you would commentate any show together. Which show would you commentate?" I assume wrestling show. Also, do the men's tag titles in WWE mean nothing since no match at the pay-per-view? Well,
I'm
I
kind
think
of pissed off about that, Eric, too. But let's not forget, I feel like I've been vocal on this show about adoring the crap out of the SmackDown pair of tag team titles, because the Raw ones, that they're on R-Truth and Miz, they look extremely generic to me, whilst the SmackDown ones, I love the SmackDown ones, like on Theory and Waller. If you guys remember, they had a Waller effect segment on this past week's SmackDown while in Scotland. They're planting the seeds for an eventual match between Waller and Theory, and that's going to be interesting. Also, because they had DIY on the Waller effect, and they showed footage of Theory. Yes, of Waller, pulling Theory in front of the splash from, was it? I kind of want to say Gargano.
Yeah.
Me if I'm wrong.
Or not Gargano, was it?
Or was it
No,
Ciampa?
it was,
I'm sorry. Just my memory sucks.
Gargano.
It was like 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry.
It was, God, who the hell was it?
I really don't remember.
Profits?
If anyone, I don't remember, Rob. I really don't remember. If anyone has a bunch of memory in them, please tell us in the chat. Yeah, so they're planting the seeds there, and they did touch upon the history between Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano, and I love that, because Grayson Waller attacked Gargano in NXT when he was, leaving NXT. I will always enjoy little breadcrumbs like that, because them referencing their own history will always make me pop, because they didn't used to. So that's kind of a wonderful thing, and I enjoy that. And if that means putting the titles on DIY and actually putting on matches, bangers after bangers, I'm sorry, Sheamus. I will have zero problem with that. Also, I just want to see Tommaso Ciampa holding a championship and calling it Goldie again. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for the past. I just want Ciampa to say Daddy's home again. Because yes, you are. Yeah.
So
if that answers your question, Eric Tweedy, thank you immensely for the super chat. Guys, be more like Eric and Ryan and send us all your money. Thank you.
As far as commentating a show, I would suck ass at it. So
me too.
I don't think that would be good.
There's one person on Fightful that is awesome at commentary. That's Kate.
Yeah,
she's been commentating on indie shows, and she's freaking awesome. And women's voices in wrestling and on wrestling commentary. Hire Veda Scott, please. Yes,
I can do commentating on backroomcastingcouch.com. If you want that,
let's
but
move
that'd
on.
be kind of odd.
Let's just move on. Just move on.
I think it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah, no,
but oh well. Probably shouldn't have plugged them either way. So the ending of Raw. We see a Miss Nikki Cross come out, and I was very happy to see her. I'm a Nikki Cross guy. I think she's fantastic. I think she's fantastic. I loved it. I love the entire segment. I feel bad for Chad Gable's family. He was a family man. I mean, he had kids, Damn it, he had kids. So, it's very interesting to see. There's a lot going in on this. I one thing I do like about some wrestling like Twitter accounts is that people that do the deep dive into like the behind this, like the Easter egg stuff. Like they were
Absolutely.
talking about the Chad Gable stuff, like why did they go after him? And then they talked about family, like this, they were tying it all back, like he's not appreciative for what he has and stuff like that, and that's why they went after him. And there's really good stuff on that, and I'll try to find the account so I can plug it later, because it was really well done and made perfect sense. But I like that. But there's just other things that you see like you saw Braun Strowman part of that, and so I mean he left the family at one time, so it's just little things. So I'm very intrigued where this goes. I am nervous about how far they take it. Like,
Understandably.
do they? I mean, the last thing I want is them to book themselves into a situation like Hell in a Cell.
Well,
that
let's
was
not
awful.
think 5 years back, okay?
Are you sure, Ace? I thought there was a picture of him somewhere in there. I swore I thought I saw him for F6, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's
The
see
only
here.
people I'm sure that got attacked were Gable and Triple H. Like I saw Gable and Triple H. Yeah.
I swore he was attacked, or like I saw him. Yeah. Oh, he says he was. Okay. Now, well, whatever. It's confusing.
It is confusing, and I am absolutely sure that it's supposed to be incredibly confusing.
Okay,
Because
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna read.
okay. So the way that this was shot was really brilliant, because like the only spooky thing in this entire segment was the fog machine being oddly turned on during the segment, and that is about it. And I personally did not mind it. When it comes to Bray Wyatt, I'm one of those fans of Bray Wyatt and everything that Bray Wyatt did in wrestling, that I didn't mind the spooky shit. Like I understand why people why it's not for everyone. I understand that. And I've seen Sean talking about his favorite kind of Bray Wyatt and Wyatt family bit being the creepy bayou, or like people from the, what do you call it, like the
Swamp.
hillbillies that, yeah,
Yeah,
the swamp
the
people who are gonna,
Deliverance. Well, yeah.
yeah, they're gonna, yeah, they're gonna murder your ass and eat your intestines and shit. There's a bunch of
Yum.
uh there's a supernatural episode of the show, uh all about that. Like Sam and Dean usually go after monsters and everything, and
Oh,
all of a sudden
Supernatural.
they're
Yeah.
just people, and
I,
that's
when you
and that's
when you said that, I thought you meant Simon Dean. So I was like,
no, Sam and Dean from
no,
Supernatural. I
I
just
know, but
wanted to say Sean's name and Supernatural in the same sentence, because Sean fucking pukes every time Supernatural is brought up. That's one
oh,
of our first conversations. Sean saying that he needs to get me on better shows because he hates Supernatural
wow.
so
Well,
much. Yeah.
so this is what Ace said. Like, so Adam Shear, aka Braun, said, "Damn, I guess I missed a whole lot chasing Judgment Day out of the building last night." I
Yeah,
still,
that's what happened at the end of the match.
but I swear to God, there was a big guy like on the ground. Like I
Yeah,
swear.
that was probably someone else. That was probably
Okay,
someone else.
well, nobody else is allowed to
Uh,
be big, I guess, on that show then.
yes, absolutely. It was probably whatchamacallit. Yeah, so going back to the creepy stuff. So I love the fact that they only played the one note of Bray Wyatt's
Yeah.
theme. One note, just one. It was so haunting. And for the rest of the day, I had this note in my head. And this is probably the thing that they were going for. It made me so incredibly happy. I'm just gonna open up a bracket here. This is not what I'm thinking, but it kind of makes sense. So hear me out. It's really stupid, but hear me out. So what if because during Raw, uh, we actually had Braun Strowman versus Chad Gable, and the match was okay. Like we saw a quick body slam, and Gable lost. So he insisted on Alpha Academy getting in the ring. He slapped Otis. He threw away Maxine Dupree's crutch, and then she tried standing up for Tozawa. And then and that was when Gable slapped Tozawa. Otis shoved him, and then everyone went to the back. And during an interview, Otis says, "We're through. We're done." And so, what if? And this is again, I'm not being serious, but it makes all the sense in the world. What if Otis saw that the YS6 were in the building and he knew what was about to happen and that they were about to fucking murder everyone? So Otis killed Chad Gable with a shotgun.
Jesus, Maggie.
So,
Yeah.
no, just listen.
Okay.
Just so he can blame the Wyatt family, and they had nothing to do with that. Otis just takes advantage of everything that's about to happen and he just kills Gable, leaves him there because that was a fucking, bullet mark in his forehead. I don't care what you say. So
Well,
Otis killed him and then he left the building and his hands are clean because, like, everyone will think it's the Wyatts. And after a month, the Wyatt family, with their godly normal voices, they're like, yeah, that's not on us, guys. By the way, we had nothing to do with that. Who's that? Fuck off.
yeah.
Yeah, so imagine that.
So
Because, like,
oh, okay. Well, so what I was gonna say is the account I brought up earlier that did a really good job talking about the history was a Twitter account by the name of Myth GIFs, GIFS, so MITHGIFS, and they did a really good job of like breaking it down. Like one thing that he said, or he or she said, I'm not sure who they are, but they said like in the past couple of weeks they've really been talking about how Alpha Academy's been a family, and Otis has talked about looking out for his brother and sister, referring to Maxine and Tozawa. And then like the thing is Chad doesn't appreciate his family and he doesn't appreciate his brother. There's all kinds of things. Like there's a segment in one of the segments where Chad's berating Otis. There's a red or rambling rabbits in the background.
yeah.
In like hidden in the shoe. So there's all kinds of things that appear. And then there's also like one of the I believe it was one of the QR codes said you changed, you stopped saying thank you, And if you noticed, he hasn't been doing the thank you
Yes.
in a while.
Yeah.
So just all these little things, I just absolutely
know.
love it. So
I love this so much. It was done so good. So yeah, so it's Eric Rowan,
okay.
Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, Joel Pearl, also known, and
Dexter Loomis, did you say
Dexter
him?
Loomis, thank you.
Okay.
And Dexter Loomis. Yes. Along with Bo Dallas, obviously.
Believe.
Yes. Bo Dallas had.
Outside the box here, what did you think about the Believe gimmick?
I hated it, but that was 10 years ago. So I don't know if the whole thing with him, having quick wins and then him running around the ring, that was kind of annoying, but it made me smile. It made me pop a lot. Do you remember who was the first to beat him? Because I kind of feel like it's R-Truth. Was it R-Truth?
Sorry, the first to beat who?
Bo Dallas, because he was on a winning streak on the main roster. I feel like he was. Yeah, I feel like it was R-Truth.
We will find out.
Because he said, "I cannot believe that you were the one to pin me." That's kind of synced into my brain. I can be extremely wrong, by the way. He had the Bray glove on his right arm, on his right hand. I couldn't help but kind of tear up because the segment was done incredibly well. Again, I am so glad that Kevin Dunn is no longer there because he would have butchered that whole segment. That whole segment. No one in the history of wrestling has ever said, "You know what the segment needs? Kevin Dunn." No.
Yeah.
Like no one's ever said that. And
you're right. It was R-Truth, by the way.
It was. Oh my God. Why do I remember stuff like that and not who was on the floor during a particular segment? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about on the main roster here.
Yeah. We're talking about the main roster, not like not on NXT, not on NXT. Neville. Wow. Okay. That name.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah, whatever happened to that guy? Poor Corey Michael. Oh my God. Sorry, Corey Michaels. Poor Corey Graves. Hi, Corey in the chat. Poor Corey Graves. His tag team partner is all gone into the other company. Yeah, incredibly well done. All jokes aside, who do you think pulled the Glock on Chad Gable? Because I kind of feel like it's Dexter Loomis, who's Mercy the Buzzard, right?
Yeah,
Mercy the Buzzard.
I don't know.
Great. They all look so good. Those masks, I want all these masks. They're so good. And all of you guys,
they look like a Slipknot cover band, which I'm okay with.
Of course, that's what I was about to say. All of you guys were 100% sure that I was gonna adore the crap out of those masks because they're straight up Slipknot masks. I love that so much. I'm gonna do an extremely hard thing here, and that is I'm going to trust the process, and I'm going to trust that they're gonna book this in a way that will complement Bray Wyatt's memory so well.
They're gonna let him win in San Francisco against Seth, or not San Francisco. I think it was. It might have been San Francisco, but Oakland, wherever the hell that pay-per-view was.
Wasn't it Saudi Arabia?
No, Hell in a Cell was in California. Denise was there.
California.
She was doing the watch along backstage.
Yeah. Well, no. I meant that the Fiend
Oh God, yeah,
beat
that was
Seth Rollins in Saudi Arabia. He
yeah.
won the championship in Saudi.
Did
Yeah, but
okay.
like Hell in a Cell was there. Oh my god. Um, yeah, I'm gonna trust them. Um, I still haven't watched the documentary about Bray because
Oh,
I'm not ready to cry that
it's
much.
tough. It's tough to watch,
I
man.
know, I
It is.
know. I'm not ready for that.
I,
I
I
have.
I tend to watch documentaries like multiple times. Like sometimes, like the WCW episodes, Who Killed WCW. I've watched episodes 1 and 2 twice already, just to see like stuff I missed, or maybe like wanted to look into some more. I haven't watched the third one yet, but
You're not gonna watch that documentary
the
ever
Bray
again,
one, I
right?
don't think I can watch again. I mean,
Yeah.
it was heavy, and that's like the Owen Hart Blu-ray or DVD like set that WWE came out with. I bought it back in the day, but I won't watch it again. Um, it's just stuff like that. It just
Yeah, there's things that get to you and you fall in love with them, but like you cannot possibly bring yourself to watch them or listen to them ever again. And I totally get that. What I'm looking forward to now is, guys, everyone who is following Corey Michaels on Twitter, X, or all his writing platforms, you're gonna have to keep an eye on his profile, because when it comes to stuff about Bray Wyatt, Corey is one of the great ones, because of his everlasting love for Bray and everything that Bray stood for and everything that Bray created. So keep an eye out for Corey, as he's gonna have a lot of insight for that. I can't wait. I I really can't wait. We know that this was coming sooner rather than later, because like at some point commentary started referencing the QR codes, but like before that they didn't even talk about their existence whatsoever. And at some point they were like, oh, it's that creepy stuff again, and I'm like, it is coming. It is coming, because they're talking about it. um I'm I can't wait. I I really want this to be something special, and I really hope that it lives up to everything that I've built up in my mind, while simultaneously having no idea what I actually build up in my mind, because I could never know what Bray Wyatt's imagination can hatch. And I always love that, because I feel like if there's anyone who can do that flawlessly, it's gonna be Bo Dallas. Um, I have complete faith in the guy, and I'm absolutely sure that they will do what's right for this.
yeah. So let's move on to our last WWE story before we go to the Cooper effect. Maggie, I'm going to ask you: do you believe in this man? His name is Joe Hendry. Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Because I do. He showed up on NXT this past Tuesday in the 25-man battle royal, but he wasn't the only one. There was also Frankie Kazarian, also known as the Maggie Blocker. So that was a real. So you had two people from TNA. Very surprising to see, or very cool to see. We kind of knew that it was going to be happening because we didn't know who, obviously, but we knew there would probably be somebody from TNA there. So the fact that Joe Hendry and Frankie Kazarian were there, that was pretty cool to see. That was Frankie Kazarian's first match in WWE in over 15 years, because he did have some, I believe, velocity matches back in the day, which is pretty much like main event, So where he just pretty much or he actually won some of those matches. So, but what do you think of Joe Hendry showing up? What was your reaction to that on your Wednesday morning?
Yeah, so I'm gonna paint you somewhat of a similar picture to Tuesday morning. I'm making my coffee, and I hear say his name and he appears. I'm like, oh yes, this is so great. And I'm like, oh, here we go. They're gonna start with the 25-man battle royal. And I'm just, in my kitchen just stirring my coffee while the battle royal is starting. And I'm like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, I cannot wait. And I'm just sitting on my couch, and what I hear are the words, oh, there he goes, eliminated by Frankie Kazarian. And I'm like, Frankie was there? Like, they had Frankie Kazarian already in the ring while, Joe Hendry gets, everyone gets Jobber's entrance. And the
Yeah.
guy that's not even a part of the locker room gets, the big ass,
Well, well, they knew that was going to get a huge
I
reaction
know,
with the
I
did.
know, and that was ridiculously good. And the one thing that popped into my head was like, okay, so Frankie Kazarian is basically a part of NXT right now, not for for the future, but right now he's a part of NXT. So can I kind of maybe can text Fightful Zone Corey Brennan and ask him to tell Frankie to unblock me on Twitter?
Yeah, there we go.
Of course, that didn't happen because I'm a normal person. And if someone blocks me, I believe that they have a perfectly fine reason to.
Yeah.
But in this case, Frankie, you're wrong. Someone blocked me. So I enjoyed the battle royal, but like the true meaning of the battle royal was the fact that Joe Hendry was a part of it for about 6 seconds. The battle royal itself made zero sense because Javon Evans was the one to win the battle royal, and at the end of the NXT episode, all ego Ethan Page beat Javon Evans in a match.
I was okay with it because let me tell I know I prefer that he would have won, but I'm okay with the way they did it because they at least brought up the ribs. They protected it somewhat, in my opinion. That's why I'm okay with it. But it also, the one thing it did tell me right away, it told me that, and I believe this was going to be the case already, but it told me that Trick's going to retain. It just told me that right away.
Yeah, of course. But what I'm saying is, they basically 50-50 Javon Evans. That's someone who's extremely good and will be a future champion. Why they decided to set him off to the moon so early in his NXT run is kind of puzzling to me. It's kind of like pulling the trigger while he's hot, but at the same time, he needs some reps in. And I mean, I don't mean in the ring because he's really good in the ring. Like, he does stuff that I didn't even think that was possible. That top rope springboard cutter is a thing of beauty. Like, please, I'm just gasping every time he does it. The thing is, there you go, an opportunity for you to win a 25-man battle royal. And now you will lose a match against Ethan Page, who just lost a championship opportunity 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, however you want to put it, a week and a half ago. It kind of doesn't make any sense. And if this is the way, if this is the way they put Ethan Page back into the title picture right after he lost it, if they're going to do a triple threat and Trick Williams is going to retain anyway, where do you go from there when it comes to Javon Evans and Ethan Page?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
I know.
Wrestling. Hi. Yeah. But something else before I forget. You know who else? If you say their name, they appear.
Who?
Double J, Jeff Jarrett, JEFFJARRETT. I just want to give a shout out to Soupy for his incredible work on our promo today. So that's all that was for.
I'm going to give you a bye because of Soupy.
Yeah.
Only because of Soupy.
That is
the only reason why you're getting a buy. Okay.
Okay. Yep. Makes
Everything,
perfect
like
sense.
everything for Soupy. You're still in trouble, but
Okay.
because it's Soupy, it's fine.
Yeah, because I didn't do anything like this.
Sacrifice! 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 Sacrifice!
Who did that most recently? Who was not? And I can't believe that you didn't tag me in a post with that.
Oh, I don't know.
Was it Swerve? I feel like it
I,
was Swerve.
I didn't see it, or I didn't think about
I
it.
feel like it was someone on Dynamite, and they said you need to sacrifice. And I'm like, there you go. We have a new,
Oh, I
thing.
didn't. Then I didn't catch it, so that's why.
Damn it. I
I'm a
feel
little
like it
slow.
was
I don't know
Swerve
if you noticed
Strickland
that.
on this week's Dynamite. I'm pretty certain it was. Or maybe someone with actual memory can, say in the
Yeah.
chat.
Speaking of memory, we got a good friend here, Will Chisholm, who sends us a
Will,
super chat. Says, "How y'all feeling about WWE letting AJ work Pro
Noah.
Wrestling Noah in July?" Hercules. I love it because I think he's gonna be I think he's gonna be working TNA Slammiversary as well. I do.
Let's not jump to conclusions. I know.
If I want to make it happen. I'm going with it. I'm putting it out there. Let's.
Okay, if this does happen, this is the. I don't want AJ Styles losing to Moose.
He's gonna win.
You're saying that a WWE superstar is gonna hold TNA Gold
I think
on
so.
SmackDown?
Hell, well, why not? You let AEW do it. Why not let somebody go on a bigger network like Fox and do it? Fox. I say you do it for the kids. Think about all the kids out there in the world.
Do it for the Fox kids.
Yeah, the Fox kids. X-Men coming up next. After
Yes.
that, you have Spider-Man.
What would Andy?
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and
yes.
What Animaniacs I think was on there too.
It's time for Animaniacs. They're on Cartoon Network.
Well, they I think back in the day they were on Fox. Yeah, because you had Pinky and the Brain. Yeah, they were on Fox.
Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah, they were Fox guys. What else? Those were what I remember on Fox. Bobby's World was on Fox.
Okay.
Oh, Kids WB too. Okay. But yeah, Christian Cage put over Josh Alexander. There you go.
Yes, he did.
I just say do it for me. Like hell with everybody else. Put AJ on TNA.
Listen up. Because
think about the kids.
I'm really surprised that actually the video on social media of Joe Hendry debuting on NXT got more views than the Wyatt 6 debut got. I did not see that coming. That's I mean,
you did see it coming? Veer.
Okay. I'm really happy for Joe Hendry, and that's a milestone. But like, was it like 57 or 67 million views?
Oh, that I couldn't tell you. Let's go. We'll check though. While you're talking, I will check.
Yes, thank you. That is incredible. I'm so happy for Joe Hendry, but the thing that's made me most happy is the fact that we get TNA chants on a regular basis on NXT, and people are completely aware of who Joe Hendry is, which is someone, and that's NXT crowd. I mean, NXT crowds are widely known to be kind of, like at least the ones that are constantly
Anime ass.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Well, not all of them, but like, they're diehards because like they're there every week, and yeah. But I'm happy that people are paying attention to wrestling outside of WWE when it comes to WWE crowds and the WWE universe, as they call it. And I'm happy that they do. Of course, they also did that back in the day when the Hardy Boys came back to WWE after leaving Impact, because through the entire match at WrestleMania, when the Hardys came back, that entire crowd started chanting, "Fuck that owl." And I took it personally, okay? I took it personally as a Twin Peaks fan. I took that personally. Please do not fuck that owl, for God's sake. Did you find the views?
Yeah, well, I'm still looking because according to this, it unless they have another video, like the Wyatt killed it.
It was because I saw that in a tweet from Josh Alexander.
Oh.
Like he was promoting a video from last night's TNA Impact, and
Well,
he
and
was
they might have
referencing.
another video, so it's
That's perfectly fine. Like I may be exaggerating. I may be exaggerating for a dramatic effect. But it really doesn't matter because I have no idea how social media numbers work because I'm not that person. I don't care about social media numbers. And while I do happen to know that it's extremely important for the people at those companies because social media numbers surely mean something to them. Not for me, but I'll be extremely happy if that were true.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, so going back to that, it didn't beat Uncle Howdy because the whole Uncle Howdy thing has 2.7 million and Joe Hendry has 639,000.
okay.
So, but I mean, either way, it's still pretty good.
Okay.
But did you know, Maggie? And I don't know if you saw this, but Joe Hendry has appeared on WWE TV before, and he appeared with somebody that you absolutely adore. And I'm going to pull this up right now. 1 second. It's actually pretty cool. I saw this earlier and I forgot to send you a DM about it, but you'll like it once you see it here. He appeared on a show called WWE Raw back in the day with none other than Lana and Miro.
Oh my God.
That's him.
Oh my
And
God.
you can tell how great that photo is, but yeah.
I mean, it's almost UFO quality.
Yeah. Well, UFOs we could probably see better than that one, but
Yeah. Oh my God. Can't believe that was
he
him.
was on there with
Was it
Miro.
really? Okay.
That's crazy.
It was during that whole really weird period when, they made Rusev Russian.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of course Bulgaria and Russia are the same country, right?
I thought so before I met you, so that makes sense.
I will
I'm
kill
kidding.
you.
I'm kidding. I know. Get Maggie going. Get Maggie going.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
But yeah, here's a better. Well.
Oh my God, he's such a kid. He's a child.
Yeah. So there he is. Anyways, yeah, that's crazy. I watched the segment today and could not believe it. I always like watching those like before you knew who they were, so, like moments. Back when Tommaso Ciampa was attorney, and for who was the attorney for? God, I forgot who that was. I've watched that segment 100 times, but I can't remember who it was for. Anyways, but let's go ahead and do the Cooper effect.
Yes.
Let's move on, and then we'll talk some AEW.
Well, Robert, when I saw the Cooper effect and I sent it to you, I told you that this is both hilarious and touching at the same time. Did you upload the photo? Oh yeah, okay. So I hope that you guys can understand the photo, because it's not like, it's better than UFO quality photo. For our incredible audio listeners, that is a lost donkey who's living with elk. And you heard absolutely correctly. That's exactly what I said. So, a hunter in Northern California stumbled upon that side of, the donkey and the elk. He took video and pictures. So, as it turns out, the the donkey's name was Diesel. Why are you laughing?
Because of what Corey said.
Yeah, that's nice ass. I know.
Yeah, like donkey. That's
Uh,
why. Because I'm a child.
yeah,
You know this.
yes. I like you in the entire chat. Like probably a part of Maria in the chat. All of your fucking children. Okay.
You're tired.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So moving on. The deer, like donkey's name is Diesel, and it ran into a woods because it got startled, and the owners of the donkey looked for him for months, days, years, and everything. And every now and then they would, be sad about the fact that they lost their donkey. When, the social media post reached them and they said, "Oh, look, that's Diesel.
Mm.
He's been surviving with cow elk for 5 years." And tell me that's not adorable. I mean, like, how's
I
that
hope his
even
nickname is
possible?
Big Daddy Cool. I really hope that's his
Yeah.
nickname.
How? I mean, how's that even possible?
I couldn't tell you.
I have no idea how that's.
Yeah.
Catch Creek Wilderness. That's Jesus Christ. I mean, I know it's kind of survival story, but how can a donkey survive with elk? I mean, like its name is Diesel. I mean, if you're gonna survive, if your name is Diesel, you're gonna survive. I I would only assume. So bravo to Diesel. I told you, both hilarious and touching story.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
I mean,
did they? Okay, so like, because it doesn't say so in the article. What if the family went to see Diesel and they were like, "Oh, that's a good boy," and then they stole him, and they're like, "You're coming with us because you're family, and families stick together," and they took him away from his current family, and then the elk run over their house. Okay, because like
okay.
they were sad for 5 years because they lost their donkey. Imagine if you wake up and realize that your ass is gone.
Yeah.
After slapping it with wrist, with those gym bands for weeks, and it's gone. It's not there anymore.
Well played. Inside joke there. Good.
You've talked about it on the show. It's not.
Oh, have I? I don't remember.
Yeah, we've talked about it, and our fans know because they're loyal.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy story. But
you can always
we have a
count
tendency
on
to
me.
talk about ass on this show, so it makes sense though. But I want to do like a mini Cooper effect really here. Somebody yesterday that we know, I've talked about it a lot on this show, that I'm a huge movie buff, and I know you like film too. Yesterday, a really great actor passed away, Donald Sutherland, who's been in so many great movies like Animal House. I mean, I could go on and on. Like, I mean, so many great movies. But he passed away. He was such a great actor. I mean, recently where younger people would know him from would be the Hunger Games film. But he was so good, and he's one of those actors. And I said it in a tweet yesterday. If there was ever an actor you needed to just play like a antagonist or just like an evil just prick, that was the guy.
That was the guy.
But he was also the guy that if you needed somebody that like you wanted like somebody a nice, decent, like
compassionate person.
He was also the perfect actor for it. He was so good, and I feel like he was so underappreciated. And I think back about all the like times that I've watched him, and I've said it before in this show, and I say it all the time to my friends. I'm the worst movie reviewer in the world because if a movie entertains me, I think it's a good movie. So
that's enough.
Yeah, that's the way I am. So if somebody asks me if it's a good movie, I say yes, and it could be somebody else could be like it sucked, but I don't go into a movie wanting to not like it. You know, that's the way it is. But I've thought about how many movies I've seen him in, and just how much I appreciate his work. And I mean, he was in the movie MASH, which would later be a TV show, obviously. Just so many JFK. He was really good in that. He's also the father of Kiefer Sutherland, who,
of course,
is another great actor. It's just really who Kiefer Sutherland was in Twin Peaks, right? Like the movie, or was that him in the Fire Walk with Me?
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so many
He was a really, really newbie, annoying detective, secret special agent. He knew crap about anything.
Yeah. So I mean, just so many great films that this man was in, and he was just a good actor. And he was 88, and I guarantee you, if you watch movies, you've seen him. You've seen him. So I mean, he's done so much, and
he's had a career.
Yeah, hell of a career. So Cold Mountain, just all kinds of things. So just best him and his family, and just want to say thanks for the memories, because I have a lot watching him. So there's that. So let's talk a little AEW, Maggie. So somebody that came up in topic this week was somebody that has never been in AEW, and his name is Shane McMahon.
What the fuck have I missed?
Okay, so Maggie does not know about this, so this makes
what the fuck did I miss?
A lot more interesting and fun.
The fuck is happening? No.
Okay, this is great.
Okay, I was working. Okay, I've been working all day, and I have no idea what the fuck is it that you're about to fucking tell me.
Well, what's great about this
crap is happening.
This story kind of started coming out earlier this week, and mainly over the past few days.
I have been off of social media this entire week.
I know, that's what makes it even better.
What the fuck?
Okay, so I'll go into it, which this is a great reaction. This went way better than I thought it would. So Jim Ross, who has a show with Conrad Thompson on ad-free shows, recently commented that how crazy he made a comment about Shane McMahon joining AEW. He said it's so crazy that it might work.
No.
And Conrad said, hey, that's not as crazy as you think. Conrad's quote was, I know for sure that Shane McMahon has reached out to wrestlers on AEW's roster to at least hypothetically discuss the idea. Are we saying that's going to happen? No. We are not saying it's not that crazy of an idea, is what he said. Today, Tony Khan commented on that to the Wrestling Observer, and he says, I've never met him, Shane McMahon, or talked to him in my life. That's all he said. So, but when I heard that, I was just like, oh my God, that was, would it get people talking? Absolutely, it would get people talking, but I don't think it'd probably be wise to put a McMahon on TV right now. And that
Yes,
includes Stephanie
imagine
McMahon.
all the dream matches, Robert.
Imagine all the stiff punches people would get too. Jesus. Man.
I did not see this coming on her show, Robert.
Yeah. That's why we don't do scripts or rundowns anymore, really. We just kind of wing it, this made it all worth it. But yeah, so that would make it worth it right there.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
Well, let's move on to something that is worth it to talk about. We will move on to the Owen Hart tournament. So it started this week, and we have a couple of matches that have already happened. We're not going to spoil anything, obviously, but we do know that Chris Statlander and Nyla Rose already wrestled this past week on Dynamite. Statlander advanced. I assume Willow Nightingale and Serena Deeb will either happen. I think. Well, it had to happen last night because they recorded Collision and Rampage last night. So Willow Nightingale versus Serena Deeb. I assume Will is going to win that. And then on the other side of the bracket, you have Deonna Purrazzo versus Hikaru Shida. And then you have Mariah May taking on Saraya. Now, Maggie, looking at this bracket, who do you have winning this?
I'm absolutely sure that Mariah May is going to win this.
Same here.
Absolutely sure. And we're about to see Mariah May versus Toni Storm at Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
And we are going to talk about this match while sitting next to each other at Wembley. I mean, we are going to talk about this match beforehand, but like also then.
Yes. So now Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander. I like that they're doing this now. Now there's a chance they could have this match at Forbidden Door, which is fine. Because they are having another match at Forbidden Door in a Owen Hart Foundation match. Where do you see this match with Willow and Chris Statlander going? Who do you have winning?
Well, it kind of has to be Chris Statlander, right?
I would think so, but
yeah. Because I don't want this to be their only match, and for them to have more matches, Chris Statlander has to. I'm not saying that she needs to beat Willow clean. She can do some shenanigans. I mean, like, it's certain. Like, I'm almost certain that it's not going to be clean. I do want them to face each other at Wembley again, because I'm biased and I want to see that live. Yes. If not, they can do it at All Out. I'm going to be absolutely totally okay with that. But having more women's matches on the card will always be something good, because while we're taking precious time away of our wrestling content, to have the learning tree on our show and not have, more women's segments or whatever. I like, a part of me is glad that people are getting TV time. Pun extremely not intended, but it's right there and I hate it. So people are getting TV time, and I will forever be happy about that because they're getting paid. So this makes me happy. But yes, this is the learning tree, people. Tree as in you will be stuck forever there and not go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's Chris Jericho.
We'll move on to the men's one.
Yes, okay.
So we saw Claudio versus Pac on Collision, and we saw Claudio lose or was that on? Excuse me, not on Collision, Dynamite.
Claudio did lose, and he was
Yep.
kind of disappointed and devastated that he lost. They're starting to build towards something between Bryan Danielson and Claudio.
Yes,
I can't
concur.
wait for that.
Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So we have Danielson versus Takagi taking place at Forbidden Door. So that match will be taking place
So good.
next Sunday. So that's going to be awesome. But you also have, whoops, wrong one.
Not
have
this.
Ray Phoenix versus Jay White.
So good.
Yeah. And then Jeff Jarrett.
I kind of hope
that's
Ray
JEFFJARRETT taking on a wild card. Maggie, do we think the wild card would be none other than Hangman Page? Or do you think it might be Shane McMahon? Let me say something. There's no way in hell Shane McMahon would be part of the wild card because of the name and what it's.
He's the best in the world, Rob.
I know, but not for this one. He's not.
Oh no! Oh my God, no! I mean, I can't see people bringing him to AEW just because of the whole best in the world gimmick. Fuck no! Please don't do that. I like wrestling. I don't want to see scrappy doo punches anymore because I want those punches to die in the fire.
Jesus, that's what it is, though.
That's exactly what they are. Shout out to the cultaholic guys. Ross Trudell. He calls them scrappy doo punches, and the moment I heard those are called scrappy doo punches, and I'm like, oh my God, fucking shit, that's exactly what they look like. Thank you, Ross. You are a treasure. I hope to meet you at Wembley eventually.
And this is, by the way, this is what did hurt AEW too a lot with the numbers. I mean, it didn't have like a massive effect, I don't think, but that whole Amazon concert with Kendrick Lamar definitely hurt, I think, numbers for them.
I understood nothing.
I know, me neither. I just know that I know that there's a battle between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. That's all I know, and I know that Kendrick.
Wait, but what does that have to do with AEW?
Well, that concert was on during AEW.
Oh, okay. Okay, so, I understood everything because people actually had to explain to me about the Kendrick and Drake
I
thing.
Still don't know, and In the Weeds had a whole thing about it, and I still can't.
I don't need to know because I'm not into that kind of I don't need to be plugged in to stuff that don't I have all the drama in the world in my own head. So I do not need other people's dramas, okay? Not until I can, put up with my own. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah.
All I know is there's a lot of drama in the LBC. That's all I know about. So
Frantic Sweetie, there are not enough money in this world to make me watch.
I bet there is. Maggie, I know you. There's enough money to get you to watch that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that Grapsody talked about it.
I know In the Weeds did. So, and I think
but it was probably funny and trolling, while Phil and Reg go diving because they actually know what they're talking about. Well, I would have no idea what I'm talking about.
Jeremy Lambert knows a lot too. He's really plugged into that.
I mean, I want him to do a freestyle battle with Francis. That's
I just don't listen to much music anymore, so I couldn't tell you what's going on. I the song that I think is really great right now is the Cruel Summer song by Taylor Swift. I like that one, and I guess that's an older one. So there you go. That's how I'm doing with music.
Taylor Swift is really nice.
No, I know, but I'm like I said, I like the song Cruel Summer. I guess it's an older, maybe it's a year ago. I thought it was a new one. So that just tells you how I am with music these days.
Yes, I understand. So MJF was back.
Yeah, going from Kendrick Lamar to MJF.
Yeah, stuff we have no idea about other stuff that we have no idea about.
idea about. They just,
Yeah. I'm so happy that MJF was back. He defeated Rush.
whoosh, yeah.
Roosh. So apparently because he delivered a brainbuster to Adam Cole weeks ago. Apparently now from now on he's gonna do the Heat Seeker and the brainbuster combination for the pin. I have zero trouble with that because the brainbuster obviously looks like something incredibly gruesome. We did see him once again at nearly at the end of the show. I say nearly because it wasn't the actual end to the show. When him and Ospreay had a face-off, that made me so incredibly happy because I'm gonna try to be extremely quick with this one. In my point of view, and I'm so incredibly biased, and if you don't agree with me, you're absolutely free to do so. One of the main reasons why AEW's ratings have been dropping is probably because of the lack of MJF and Kenny Omega. I'm almost certain that Kenny Omega being gone makes people like me incredibly deflated. And that is because we heard for Kenny Omega and not because, come on, we hurry up, get back to television. No, take care of yourself first and then come back if you can, that is, because we have no idea. So they were so close to making MJF that person that can carry the company, but then he went away too because of his injuries. And then thank God Will Ospreay came, and Will Ospreay put that show on his shoulders. He had match after match after match, each match better than the last one. And each time we say there's no way that this can get any better. And it eventually did. So I still feel for Kenny Omega so much. I'm so incredibly sad that he's gone. I miss him immensely. I know that online I have this persona that talks about Wardlow a lot. It's always been Kenny Omega. I mean, I don't drool over the guy because he's kind of a different thing to me. I drool over his wrestling skills all the time. I'm not even kidding. I miss him so much because he's the person. I mean, his match against MJF comes to mind. That match was one of my favorite matches for last year. So at some point, Ospreay and Swerve got in the ring. It was right after MJF and Roosh opened up the show. So obviously Will Ospreay and the family are gonna get separated in the near future because again, breadcrumbs as all the other wrestling shows this week. Seeds were planted between the Don Callis family and Will Ospreay. Incredible shots fired. Like Will said, while you had a hit row, I had a hit list. And I didn't miss any one of them. That was so good. Incredibly good. Swerve said that Ospreay is no one outside of the ring. Then he made it personal by bringing up his family. And we all know that Will Ospreay adores his girlfriend. He adores his son. And that just makes me like Will Ospreay even more. They're trying to book Swerve to be an actual heel here, but the audience adores Swerve so much that it's almost nearly impossible. But whatever they do, Will Ospreay is gonna get cheered the crap out of that building. So I'm looking forward to that. And later in the night, MJF and Ospreay saved Daniel Garcia from the embassy. And that's when Osprey and MJF had a stare off. And this just makes me so excited for the match. And it hasn't even happened. They just stared at each other.
Yeah.
In love. I'm looking forward to that. What did you think of that entire show?
I thought it was great. I mean, going from the Will Ospreay thing, I said this on Mark Order podcast. I absolutely loved the line about the hit row, because what I liked about it so much is it wasn't like an insult at all. It was, yes. I looked at it like that it was bringing up like something in the past, and I liked it. I thought it was well played. I thought it was done well, and it doesn't. I'm a big fan of breaking the fourth wall type stuff. So yes. The fact that they were able to do something without insult, like burying the WWE, I thought it was great. I prefer them to do stuff like that, and I thought that was really well done. So you have Will and Swerve having their little face off, and that match is that I cannot wait for that match. It's going to be a hell of a show, or a hell of a match. And then we have Ospreay versus MJF down the road. I still think we're getting Ospreay versus Ricochet at Wembley. That's my thing. I think we're getting MJF versus Swerve. I think we're getting MJF versus I don't know who MJF's going to wrestle at All In, but because I think Bryan Danielson's going to be wrestling Swerve at All In.
Do you think he wins the Owen?
I do. I do think, and I think Danielson wins, and I think he drops it right back at Wrestle Dream.
Okay.
That's my opinion. But overall, I thought it was a really solid show.
It was the entire week of wrestling was really good. That's all I'm about to say.
But yeah, and the next week we got predictions for Forbidden Door, and the week after that we have Money in the Bank and Heat Wave. Is that right? Yeah. I think that's the name of that show. So 2 PLE. So PLE is back to back, or pay-per-view, and then PLEs. So, but we've already gone over our show. Ace has a good question that I wanted to answer before we went off. Do you think AEW panic books? I don't think they'll panic book. I don't think they need to.
Well, I don't know.
I just don't think they need to yet. I think with it being a holiday here in the States, that played a part of it. It was Juneteenth. I think there were a lot of people that just had other things going on. People might have taken extended days off because who knows, that was, I don't think they need to freak out. I think they just need to do their thing and keep on keeping on, because they had a good show and there's no reason to freak out, in my opinion.
Yes.
If they do, they just need to do it with to make some kick-ass matches, that's all. And I think we might hear some of those tonight on Rampage. Maybe they'll announce some of them. But I do think something that they need to try to do is, I think Jon Moxley. I think we need to see more Jon Moxley. I think that would help too. I know you brought up Kenny, and I think we're getting Hangman Page obviously back soon, as Fightful Select reported. I think they're going to be okay. I just think wrestling's great, both WWE and AEW right now, and TNA is going. We got Slammiversary in a couple weeks, but Maggie, I'm going to have you go ahead and plug your shit. Oh, we're not going anywhere yet. We got to run in.
What's up?
Hola. That's hello in Spanish, by the way. Didn't know if you knew that.
What?
I said hola, which is hello in Spanish.
I mean, I speak Spanish. I speak great Spanish.
Awesome.
Prove it.
Do you speak any Spanish, Maggie?
No. Do you speak any Bulgarian, Sean?
Yep.
Try.
Rusev Udriat, Rusev Machka.
Yeah,
that was so terrible. So terrible.
I did good.
How was Busted Open today?
It was good. They called me about or they messaged me about 15 minutes before, asked me to give them advice on how to get under Denise's skin. So I
What did you
appeared
tell
on
them?
that. What is it?
What did you tell them? Or did you just appear?
Well, the cheap heat route is to bring up Taylor Swift. That's the easy way to do it. But what really bothers Denise, because she thinks she's the coolest person on earth, is to bring up the fact that she might not understand a pop culture reference or a reference at all. Like the step host thing, it drove her nuts that she didn't know about that. So that's, I wouldn't say make adult film references all the time, but
yeah, we don't do that here, thank God.
No, never.
Man,
We didn't
Yet
have one of them today.
no one gets on your back about eating a well done steak.
I mean, I like well done steak. It means that it's cooked effectively. It's good. Again, I watch a lot of Naked and Afraid on Investigation Discovery. You don't see them halfway cooking their food on that show. There's a reason they cook it and cook it effectively. But yeah.
Does it
But
taste like a chew?
cheap plug for everybody watching. I'm going to do a live Q&A show over on Fightful Select at 5, mainly because I just forgot to do one earlier. So there you go.
We plugged it at the beginning, and like Sean will do his Q&A.
Yep, I sure will.
So
At 5
there you
p.m. Eastern.
there you go.
That's
So-
why. That's when I'm doing it.
So a lot of people in chat have been bringing up the Kendrick Lamar concert and
Yeah.
I love when people talk about stuff I can totally understand, right? I know who Kendrick Lamar is. I'm
You should listen to
absolutely
Kendrick
aware.
Lamar. He's great.
I will never.
he's huge in
Right.
Bulgaria.
In
Yeah.
my opinion, the greatest rapper of all time.
Wow, but like Ace in our chat earlier, he says, "Do you think AEW will panic book this coming week?" I did read your Fightful Select report.
No, because they got Forbidden Door the next week, so I don't think they will. I think that they'll aim for a gigantic show in July, though, because they're going to have a big gap between Forbidden Door and Double or Nothing, or All In.
Yeah. As far as the Wyatt 6,
Did you cry?
I know, like,
Did I cry?
Yeah, because I cried, but like I cry.
I
every
didn't
time.
cry. I actually didn't.
Do you have a heart? Like you're a heart.
I mean, people got murdered.
Yes. Like in my opinion, and I share this to Rob, in my opinion, it'll be incredibly cool if actually Otis murdered Gable. Because like he saw that the Wyatt 6 was in that building. And then he was like, I'm gonna take advantage of this fucking situation. And he just shot Gable, and
Yes.
like the crap will be taken by the Wyatt 6.
I don't think that's going to happen, Maggie.
Or
I'm sorry.
Tozawa. It was probably Tozawa.
I saw someone say that Otis just shot Chad Gable before anybody else showed up and counted on them to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a hell of a thing, then. Well, so do you think we get a possibility of? Are they going to keep Wyatt 6 strictly on Raw? You think?
I don't know about that. They seem to be teasing it something in conjunction with Pat McAfee. So, I mean, that would make an awful lot of sense. Somebody asked how they write Chad Gable is okay Monday. They don't. He's off the show. He's out of his match. But I mean, like, listen, just because there was a spot on his head doesn't mean that he got shot in the head.
It was totally a shot in the head.
Yeah. It's heavily implied that he was killed in that manner, but
Sean, what are the chances that my dream comes true and that I get AJ Styles at Slammiversary? Not that I
think
will.
There's a possibility. I think there's a possibility. I wouldn't rule it out or anything like that. But
why are you making him believe? Now, if it doesn't happen, he's gonna get crushed.
No,
I will be left, putting
Cleaning up the
together
mess.
the pieces.
I think there's a real opportunity. I think there's a chance it happens.
Yeah,
So
but like I
fantastic.
don't want AJ Styles losing to Moose. I want AJ Styles as the TNA champion on SmackDown.
Sure.
I mean, tell me that doesn't write itself. I mean,
It would be
I'd pay
fun.
money for it. Yeah.
I think I'm sure TNA would be ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
Well, I should probably go get ready for this Q&A show that I'm doing.
Yeah, 15 minutes. So, yeah, we've ran over 15 minutes. So, I think the biggest thing is the question that everybody really wants to know from you, and I brought it up last week. Are you going to make Joel Pearl defend his title at Money in the Bank during Money in the Bank weekend?
I would. If I were going, I would legitimately just physically attack him.
Timeout. You're not going to Toronto when you have a perfect excuse to go to Toronto?
Nope. They're not doing heavy media junkets. They're doing like community events. So it's hard for me to justify financially going to that. I mean,
but you love Toronto.
I do love Toronto.
It's your second favorite town, or your second hometown.
I don't want to travel until at least August. I'm going to Cleveland, but yeah.
Okay, so make Joel come to Wembley, and I'm gonna beat him for that championship there.
Listen, I would love to book that. I would love to. I mean, here's the thing: if Fightful could swing financially, Joel Pearl going, I would just go. I'm not gonna send Joel Pearl on my behalf. I'm not gonna be like, hey, Joel, we're going to pay for your trip to England. I would just go myself. I don't want good things to happen to him instead.
So, well, the other thing I was thinking is if we kind of maybe figure out how to get Steve Macklin like a match, like that would be pretty good.
I would love him as Fightful champion. That'd be great.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. I just think he needs to defend the title. I mean, he's not Roman Reigns, in my opinion. That's all I'm saying. I just think he needs to defend it, and I think it'd be good for business. I think Kendrick Lamar type numbers for Amazon.
Okay, more stuff that I don't get.
So, hey, I'm just trying to bring up money. Money talks.
Sure.
So, but thanks for stopping by, and in 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes, catch Sean's Q&A. You always learn a lot of stuff on there. Good stuff. I listen to it weekly because
sorry about that.
No, I literally, and I'm not kissing ass here. It's my favorite show to listen to because I learn different things. I'm not kidding.
It's my least favorite to record because I know somebody's going to aggregate something irresponsibly.
Maybe that's why I like it. I don't know. But
and you know what? Sometimes that's the joy in it.
Yeah. But yeah, you learn a ton of stuff. So, but anyways, thank you, Sean, for stopping by. We appreciate you, and we will see you soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye. All right, Maggie, plug your shit.
Yeah, thank you. I forgot where I was. Guys, you can follow me on Twixter at Maggie_IK and on Instagram at Maggie.IK. Thank you, Rob.
Guys, you can follow me right here at Rob Wilkins on Twitter or X. I'm also on Instagram at Fightful Rob. I'm also on Threads at Fightful Rob. And next Wednesday, I will be on the Mark Order podcast. So check that out. I will enjoy that. I had a great time this past week. Want to say thank you to Kate for letting me fill in for her. Had a good time with Pluggo from Love Wrestling. Love that guy. And Joe at Mark Order podcast. He's a good dude too. So I want to say thank you for letting me be a part of that. So next week, we will be back. We will be doing Forbidden Door predictions, which we look forward to doing. I'm sure Sean will be doing like some retweets again or tweets out where you can actually win the chance to win the pay-per-view for free. So make sure you follow those. And I know he ran one last night or the night before, so check that out. But want to say thank you again. We will see you here right here next week, next Wednesday or next Friday. Wow. Jeez. Next Friday, 3:00 Eastern. Want to say thank you again for tuning in. Peace out. We appreciate you, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.